Hello friends, it is September the 29th of 2024. I have another goddamn CD collection update for you here, and as always, I'm going to show you these albums and talk to you about them as well. Alright, let's get right into this, motherfuckers. Up first is the new Forgotten Tomb album. It is entitled Nightfloating. Fucking amazing album right here. Just enjoy it so much. I'm a big fan of Forgotten Tomb. I've really gotten heavily into their music over the past couple of years or so, and I do have most of their albums now, and I do listen to them quite regularly. I do enjoy their music so much, and this album is actually better than what I anticipated. It is really good, and yeah, just another great album in their discography. It's very dark with lots of memorable songs. Can certainly be melodic at times as well. Yeah, it has more of a gothic feel to it, very dark. I mean, there's certainly like black metal and doom metal elements here as well, but yeah, great stuff right here. Forgotten Tomb, another great album from them. Check this one out if you haven't. Fucking amazing. Okay, so that is Forgotten Tomb with Nightfloating. Up next is the new Nile album. It is entitled The Underworld Awaits Us All. This came out a few months ago. Amazing album. Nile, so great, and I've been a big fan of their music since I was about 18. That's when I started to get into their music. I think I bought the album in their Darkened Shrines at that time, and I recall listening to that one quite a bit, and I've been keeping up in this band throughout the years. This is I think their first album since 2019. Yeah, this album is just it just blows me away. It's just incredible. It's so heavy and intense and fast and technical, but their songs are memorable as well. Just well written songs that are just so intense and fast and heavy. This band really knows what they're doing, and it's just a unique band as well, and different from other death metal bands out there. I mean, I'm not the biggest death metal fan, but Nile to me are just one of the absolutely amazing death metal bands out there. Okay, so yeah, definitely give this one a listen, especially if you're into death metal. Okay, so that is Nile with The Underworld Awaits Us All. Okay, Vemod with The Deepening. This album came out this year. It came out, I think, in January of this year, so about, I guess what's about 8-9 months ago. Yeah, I've been listening to it lately, and it has more of that sort of atmospheric black metal sound going on. Pretty good stuff, and definitely an album that I will be getting into more. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of atmospheric black metal. It's definitely, I would say, one of my top like 5 favorite styles of metal, and yeah, this band really does it so well. They haven't released an album in so many years. I think this is their first album in like over 10 years, I think, about that. Great band out of Norway, and yeah, they're really good. Definitely a very good album right here. Okay, check this one out if you haven't. Okay, so that is Vemod with The Deepening. Okay, Tool with the Fear Inoculum. This album came out in 2019. Yeah, I finally decided to purchase this album. Of course, it's been out for about 5 years or so. I've been a big fan of Tool since I was a teenager, but really haven't maybe kept up on them that much in recent years, and I didn't really think this album was going to be that amazing, but it is incredible. I really do enjoy this album so much. It's much better than what I anticipated, and if I had known it was that great, I would have purchased this album when it had come out like 5 years ago. It definitely has a bit of a different vibe going on here, but it definitely sounds like Tool still. Lots of very memorable songs here, very progressive, and lots of very lengthy songs, of course, and yeah, melodic with lots of interesting moods going on here. Great album. Another great album from Tool right here. Okay, so that is Tool with The Fear Inoculum. Staying with Tormented. This album came out in 1996. I've been a big fan of Stained. Okay, I've been a big fan of Stained since I was, I guess, about 14. That's when I first started getting into them, so that would have been back in the early 2000s, and yeah, and I finally decided to purchase this album from them. I do have all their albums now, which is great, and I had recently done a albums ranked video on them, so if you haven't checked that one out, definitely give that one a watch. And yeah, I remember listening to this album when I was like 15 or 16. My brother had downloaded it for me, and it made me like a sort of a burned CD of it, and I do recall listening to it a lot around that time, and I just enjoyed this album so much, but I was sort of hesitant about purchasing it for so long because it is quite expensive, this album. Most of the copies go for well over $100, but I did manage to find this copy here on, I think it was, somebody was selling it on an eBay, and I think I got it for maybe about $40 or $50 or something like that. So figured, okay, that's definitely worth it. I definitely have been wanting this album in my collection for so long. This is an interesting album. This is Stain's first album. It's very dark and heavy. It is incredibly depressive sounding. I mean, it's kind of definitely a little bit more grittier sounding, the production. And yeah, definitely sounds somewhat different from their later releases. And but yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear where they started this band. And I know the band has somewhat distanced themselves from this album because maybe it's so dark and dismal sounding and more on the raw side. But yeah, still a great album from this band, and I really do enjoy it more so than some of their other albums. And yeah, definitely give this one a listen, and yeah, check this one out if you haven't. Okay, so that is Stain with Tormented. The Skull with the Endless Road Turns Dark. I believe that's what it's called. Yep, sorry. Okay, so yeah, we got some traditional doom metal right here. This is the last album from this band that Eric Wagner sang on. Yeah, I really enjoy this stuff. I mean, it's traditional doom metal. Like, I mean, it's definitely reminiscent of bands like Saint Vitus and, of course, Trouble, Reverend Bizarre, and The Obsessed, and Pentagram, and that sort of thing. I mean, the songs are definitely heavy and more on the slow side, very melodic and dark sounding as well. Great production, very thick and full sounding. Yeah, really do enjoy this band. They have only released 2 albums. Of course, Eric Wagner, who was the vocalist for The Skull, he passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. But yeah, he definitely left behind some great albums, and this album right here is just phenomenal. I really do enjoy this band so much. Okay, so that is The Skull with the Endless Road Turns Dark. Shape of Despair with Angels of Distress. This album came out in 2001. Yeah, I definitely enjoy this band so much. I do have all their full-length albums now. I think they have about 5 full-length albums. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. This is a band out of Finland. They play funeral doom, and they've been around for quite a long time, since about I guess the late 1990s or so. And yeah, great stuff right here. I don't know what I could say about this album. It's just funeral doom. It just sounds very dark, lots of atmosphere. Yeah, it's just incredibly dismal sounding, lengthy songs, lots of great melodies as well. And yeah, I think they're, in my opinion, one of the better funeral doom bands out there. Certainly one of my favorites within the funeral doom genre. Do enjoy this band so much. Okay, so that is Shape of Despair with Angels of Distress. All right, another funeral doom album, Ahab with The Giant. This album came out in 2012. I do have all of Ahab's full-length albums now. I believe they have 5 also. Again, one of my absolute favorite funeral doom bands, along with Shape of Despair. Those are probably my 2 favorite funeral doom bands, and I've really gotten heavily into funeral doom over the past, I guess, 2 or 3 years or so. And yeah, Ahab, certainly, in my opinion, like the gold standard for funeral doom. They just do it so incredibly well, and they have their own unique sound, and of course with the lyrics and the visuals, very unique as well. They are just incredibly talented, these guys, and have released so many phenomenal albums. Their last album there that came out last year, just enjoyed that one so much, and that of course was on my top albums of 2023. And yeah, of course this band, yeah, they just keep delivering great albums, and this is a great one as well. Okay, so that is Ahab with The Giant. And the last album on my list here is the Smashing Pumpkins with Machina. The Machines of God. This album came out in 2000. I do like Smashing Pumpkins. Not a band that I've gotten too heavily into, but a band that I grew up listening to. I remember listening to the albums like Siamese Dream and Melancholy and The Infant Sadness, and enjoying those albums. I do have those albums in my collection. Decided to get into this one as well. I remember listening to it on Spotify some months ago. I'm like, yeah, this album sounds pretty good. Decided to purchase a copy of it. Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, pretty good band. A band that I haven't really gotten too deep into, but I've been enjoying this one. Pretty solid hard rock music right here. Lots of very catchy and memorable songs, and yeah, I think they're a pretty talented band. Really do enjoy this stuff quite a bit. Okay, so that is the Smashing Pumpkins with Machina, the Machines of God. Okay, so those are a bunch of albums that I've added to my collection recently. pretty good goddamn albums, I must say. I really do enjoy these albums so much, and of course I'm always collecting albums. I just love it so much. As you can see behind me, I have a pretty vast collection of CDs. I do have a vinyl collection as well, and yeah, I'm always looking to add more great albums to my collection. Okay, so let me know what you think, and please leave some comments. I'm always curious to know what you guys think. If there's some albums you think I should check out, or if you have some ideas for videos that I should do, I'm always open to suggestions. So please leave a comment, give me a like, and if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. I very much appreciate that. Okay, my friends, and I want to say thank you very much for watching, and for those who subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you as well. Okay, take care, my friends. Cheers.